overview of our partnership with Tableau. I'm going to walk through just the high-level technical integration, the a couple of different ways we can integrate, and a few high-level use cases. And then we're going to spend most of our time on a live walkthrough with my colleague Anish, where we're going to configure the prereqs in Tableau. We're going to set up the activities in Studio, and we're going to walk through a live scenario, including a demo. And then we'll definitely spend, or we'll save a bit of time at the end for Q&A. But as Christina said, feel free to drop any questions in the chat at any time. So with that, I'll hand it off to Lynette, just a little bit on our partnership with Tableau.
Thanks, Mo. Hi, everyone. It's good to be back with the community today. Thanks to the community team for having us. Mo invited me today to just do a little bit of an overview of the Tableau and UiPath partnership. And so how do we work with Tableau? We actually joined forces about 1.5 years ago. We joined the Tableau Partner Program, and currently we are a select Tableau partner. The reason we chose to partner with Tableau was really to ensure that we can find new and innovative ways for our customers to use our technologies together and streamline that process for them through collaboration and building integrations. And that's what we've done over the last year or so. And I think Francois Agenstat, who's the CPO at Tableau, put it best. By joining forces, we are helping our customers to unlock the power of their data and helping them to make faster and better data-driven decisions. And that's really the goal here, is to make sure that our customers can really benefit from the partnership. Thanks, Mo. And so over the course of the partnership so far, we've had numerous successes with customers using robots to automate in and around the data and analytics pipeline. And Avison Young is one of those customers. And I thought it would be good to just share a little bit of their story, so you get a feel for what this partnership can mean to you in your daily lives and your work life. So Avison Young is a global commercial real estate organization, and they what they on a very regular basis do is provide 360 view reporting and customer presentations around the client's real estate portfolio. And what was happening is that the very expensive data scientists that are really expensive resources had to spend a lot of their time, approximately 50% according to Dave Sordi, just building, getting data in from different places in a manual way, cleaning that data, fixing the data, normalizing the data, and getting it into a place where they could then provide that 360 view on the client's portfolio to them. And so what they really wanted to do is to minimize that janitorial work and help the data scientists to focus more on, diving into new data sets and finding more intelligence from different data sources that they couldn't previously access because it was just too manual to collect, and to actually dive into each individual client's information and intelligence more, so that they could tell their customers things that they didn't know before. And so they implemented robots to do a lot of that manual work. And so they've actually saved the data scientists a lot of time, and now they can focus on the things that are really important to them, which is to give more intelligence to their customers about their portfolios. I've provided a QR code that links to the case study on our website. If you wanted to read a little bit more around their story, I would encourage you to go and have a read. Thanks, Mo. And then, so we've done a lot of work with Tableau on different initiatives, including the integrations that we've built. But we've also collaborated on thought leadership papers. And one of these thought leadership papers that we've written together with them and with Snowflake and AWS is this paper which we released this week. It's titled The Modern Data Pipeline, Fast, Frictionless and Automated. And what this paper really dives into is the challenges around the data and analytics pipeline. How can customers really get value from the data they already have, and positioning the different technologies that it would take to actually build out a modern data pipeline, and how that removes friction and how that helps promote a data culture. So this white paper is available now. There's a QR code if you wanted to go and have a read through. Please feel free to do that whenever you can. It's a really good read. And yeah, with that, I think I'm going to hand over to Mo. Thank you so much, Mo. I'm looking forward to your session. Thanks, everyone.
Absolutely, thank you, Lynette. So just for a little bit of high-level overview, just of some of the capabilities we're going to talk about today. At, again, a very high level, a lot of the use cases we see are around improving data quality, data gather, consolidation, etc., and really extending the reach of Tableau to include virtual machines, legacy applications, unstructured or semi-structured documents, applications without APIs, and we'll show an example of that. And a really exciting part of this type of integration is being able to take action based on insights you find within your Tableau dashboard. So if I find some type of cybersecurity issue, or I find what I think is a trend, or maybe some type of issue with a vendor in supply chain or a supplier, something like that, I can trigger a UiPath robot to make multiple downstream actions based on those decisions. And that BI data, snapshots of that data can be incorporated in my UiPath automation. So that could be something like taking critical data and incorporating it in an action that a robot takes. That could also be as simple as just exporting and generating a daily, weekly, or monthly report, the type of thing that's time consuming, where, I might set up a PowerPoint deck, or, export to PDF or an image or Excel, and then have to create a deliverable based on that. We can automate all of that as part of, our integration with Tableau. And we're going to show a few examples of that today. So I've got just just a couple more slides before we get into a quiz and a walkthrough. So I did want to just spend a little bit of time talking about the different types of integrations we have and the use case patterns we see with those. So the one that we're going to focus the most on today is our Tableau activity pack within UiPath Studio. So, that includes actions like getting workbooks, refreshing, getting views, downloading and exporting views or workbooks as PDFs, images, Excel, and other formats. And PowerPoint, like we're going to show today. But a lot of what we see from a usage pattern standpoint is a robot could kick off a process, and it could interact with systems of record that are connected to Tableau. So it could help insert data, update data, join it, etc. But we see a lot of opportunities to incorporate data sources that aren't easily connected to Tableau. So that could be legacy data sources, that could be documents that are currently isolated from that whole workflow. And we can take all that data, we can help with a lot of that initial preparation, get all of the data into one consistent place. And then we're not adding a point of failure. Anytime we add data, it's to the system of record that's connected to Tableau. And then so that connection between the system and Tableau is what keeps that synchronized. And then we can perform downstream actions based on events within Tableau. So there's a few different ways to do that. We could use the Tableau extension, the connector, within Tableau. We can also set up, custom solutions for on-prem with Tableau JavaScript API. We can use embedded dashboards and events, through methods like that. But most of our focus today, again, is going to be on the studio activities and how we can incorporate Tableau data and actions into your workflows today. So just for use cases, a lot of what we see are, there's a lot of different industries with data-driven decisions. So, things like IT, cybersecurity, finance, retail, manufacturing, really anywhere you can have, real-time decision-making based on data. So, I've put a lot of data together. I look at my dashboard, I navigate through it. I find something is there some type of execution or action that I need? So from a cybersecurity standpoint, that could be blocking an IP, that could be, restarting something, disabling a service, anything like that. Throughout all these, it could be sending out notifications, it could be generating a report automatically to notify somebody, or things like that. And Anish, you're in BFSI. Any finance or banking examples you want to share here?
Yeah, one of the things that we see very commonly is in the finance space is essentially doing white space analysis. So essentially understanding what products customers have today and be able to do that in a real-time monitoring perspective as well. So essentially being able to connect to various different systems like your core banking system and your other banking systems today, and being able to pull all that data in to understand at any point in time where white space exists. And how do you connect to your customers to ensure that you can capture some of that white space going forward?
All right, awesome. Thank you, Anish. And Christina, we've got a couple of chats. Do we have any questions in the chat, or should we keep going?
I think for now we can keep going. We do not have questions in the chat now. I just fed them some links for the technology series. But guys, yes, please feel free to ask at any time questions during the chat, like during the presentation.
All right, great. So I wanted to cover just a common integration pattern that's going to be reflected in the demo that we're going to walk through today. So a lot of what we see is again, a robot processing items in a legacy data source. So we'll show an example of this, but that could be documents, that could be anything as old as a mainframe or terminal, or any type of public website, a custom web app, anything like that. And in this example, we're going to add data to Salesforce, but that data could go to Snowflake, like we talked about last week, multiple other data sources, and we can do a lot of data preparation activities, to get that data standardized, aggregated, and all of that. And then with that connection from that data source to Tableau, Tableau is going to be synchronized with the data. And at any point, we can have Tableau events or Tableau actions kicking off unattended robots to do things like export to PDF, refresh the data, add additional data to those data sources, things like that. And we can also use our attended robot to pull from Tableau, like we're going to do today. And at any point, we can add additional downstream actions, and that's sort of where you get that 360-degree view of Tableau events and decisions by Tableau users, generating additional data points for UiPath robots to then incorporate into a line of business system, which then can be reflected and bubbled back up to the dashboard. So we can do a lot of that data gathering, structuring types of activities. We'll show a little bit of that today. We can generate reports in lots of different formats. And again, I think a really exciting opportunity is those downstream actions, because you can do just about anything with the outputs from Tableau. So, that could be a multi-step approval process for an output report that you generated. That could be, performing multiple steps based on a finding within the dashboard. So I think that's what we had for slides today. So Christina, we're going to take a quick break for a quiz, and then we've got our live walkthrough.
Just a minute.
Yep.
Just set up for the. Okay. So a bit. Okay, guys, so as usual, go to www.menti.com. I'm going to give the link and paste the code you need to enter the quiz room in the chat. So this is the link, and the code is the one on the screen, but I'm also copy pasting it in chat, so it will be easy for you to pick it up and just copy paste it. Okay. It's also easier to join from mobile. So if you have your mobile handy, just try to join from mobile. That would be easier. It's 15839951, the code to join the quiz room. It's very simple. Just paste the link and then the code to get into the quiz room. We'll be waiting. Let's see how many we get into the quiz room. Oh, wait. I will reshare in a minute. Sure. Okay. Okay, I need to reset the results because it went ahead. So we're going to start from where we left off. Okay. I guess by now, let's see. There's something wrong with the quiz. Give me a minute. And let's see what's wrong here. Okay, it's okay now. So I see only 14 in the quiz room now. I guess we should be a bit more. So the quiz is not open. Can you guys try again, please, and tell me if you can join? Ah, okay, people are joining, so it's open now. Yes. So you have the code just above. Please just paste this code. Okay. Let's get at least 20. Come on. We'll wait for more people, a bit more to join. So we have 16, 17. Okay, it's very easy. You have the link there. Just paste the code to get into the quiz room. And the questions are not that hard either. Okay. I think we can start if no one else is willing to join. Okay. So we're at question 1. And remember, answer fast to get more points. What are some things you can do with the Tableau activities in Studio? Print a random dashboard, query, refresh, and download Tableau dashboards, or delete all dashboards. Okay, I see. Yeah, most people got it right. That's great. And Mo, we go to the second question, yes? And first the leaderboard, let's see how you guys did and what's the ranking after the first question in the Menti. Who was the fastest? Because almost all of you were correct, so that's not an issue.
Oh wow, that's close. Look at that.
It's very close.
Yeah.
Just 1 point difference, so that's like a nanosecond. Okay, so Mohan is leading for now, but Ryan is just a nanosecond away. Let's go to the second question. And remember, guys, answer fast to get more points. What Tableau items can I download? Views and workbooks, tables and graphs, charts, only charts. Seems like this was a debated answer. Mo, do you want to comment a bit on this?
Yeah, that's kind of a trick question, but in Tableau nomenclature, it's views and workbooks, but those could include tables and graphs. So honestly, the middle answer is kind of correct as well. But yeah, it is within our activities, it's views and workbooks. So apologize for the trick question, but think a lot of you got it right though.
Okay, let's see the leaderboard.
It's a big shakeup.
Oh, yeah. Oh, complete. Yeah. So Mohan and Ryan are now at the end of the leaderboard, and Donald and Justin are leading. Okay. We'll come back before Q&A or at the next session when Mo decides with the next 2 questions from the mentee to complete the quiz.
Cool. So I think I just have a transition slide, but I think we're going right into our live walkthrough. So, just to cover again, Anish is going to join me. We're going to configure our prereqs in Tableau. So we're going to set up a workbook. We're going to set up our studio activities. So we'll download the packages, or the Tableau activity package, and set it up. Anish is going to walk through his workflow scenario a bit, and then we're going to go through a live demo. So Anish, I'll hand it off to you. Thanks for joining us today.
Yeah, wonderful. All right, let me go ahead and share my screen here, and it should pop up to the flow for this demo here today. Let me know if you guys can all see the screen here.
Yep, it's there. Thank you.
Wonderful. So as you're seeing right off the board, you're seeing the actual flow itself. And as Mo mentioned, I think the first thing that we should actually cover is essentially the activities that we're setting up specifically for Tableau here. So on the left-hand side here, you're actually seeing the activities already here because I've actually already added the package. But just for a reference to understand exactly how we would go ahead and do that for not only Tableau, but for any other system, it would be under the manage package option here. I guess before that, let me see if I can minimize this. Mo, do you know where the minimize option is here?
For Zoom?
Yeah.
I think it looks okay to me. I think it's on your other screen.
Oh, okay. Wonderful.
Good, yeah.
So if you can't see it, then that works for me. All right. So as you can see here, this is the manage package option right here. So if I were to actually go to all packages or official, and we recommend going to official, and then actually typing in Tableau, you would now get all the options for all the packages that are tied to Tableau. In this case, it means that any package includes several activities that are specifically tied to that application. So the same thing I could do for example, Salesforce. So if I type in Salesforce here, you would get the options for configuring activities specifically for Salesforce here. Now, when you have official packages like Salesforce and Tableau, definitely please make sure that you're picking the right one based off of the integration that you're actually looking to use. So for example, here you're seeing that I've chosen the Salesforce option here because I'm actually using integration service to act as that connective tissue between the UiPath bot and Salesforce's instance. Same way here, if I actually wanted to use other Salesforce activities or specifically for Marketing Cloud, I could choose to install this package. Now, once you do install that package and you go to the left-hand screen or left-hand column here, and you click activities, you'll actually see all the activities specifically listed for Tableau. Now, the interesting thing here is that, and this goes for all the different activities that we have here, our goal here is essentially use the same architecture that exists within that ERP application. So for example, when we look at Tableau here, all of these actions here are the same actions that you would take whether you were in the actual Tableau screen or whether in the UiPath side. So as a developer, as someone who's actually creating these flows, if you understand the architecture that's within Salesforce or Tableau, the same activity will be called here within the UiPath side as well. So you're not necessarily duplicating efforts as you're trying to learn what activities to use as you're trying to replicate those actions on the UiPath side. Now, as Mo mentioned, one of the things that we're showcasing today here is that integration, that integrative tissue between several different things here. Those several things include a legacy application that's not API friendly, Tableau, which is of course API friendly, and then Salesforce, which is actually being connected from Tableau directly to Salesforce. So let's walk through that and uncover that exact flow here. So the first thing we're actually going to do here as we look through our flow is actually start with the legacy application. So I'll go ahead and bring that up here. This is just a fake portal that we have here at UiPath called UI Bank here, but this is similar to any legacy application or mainframe terminal that you may have today. So everything that you have in here is not API friendly. So essentially, if I'm grabbing the data through essentially a screen grab, I'm essentially using the UI of this tool to grab that data. Now, if I were to go and move down the flow here, now you'll start to see that I'm actually extracting that table data here, and I'm actually inputting it into an Excel format. The reason why I'm doing that is just to have another source of where that data is actually existing today. Of course, you could change that source to being an SQL database or some other database elsewhere, but for today's demonstration, we're choosing to use Excel. Now, as I move down the flow here, I'm now also connecting to Salesforce. So once again, I showed you that package that we used to essentially grab these activities for Salesforce. So for example, if I were to go and type in Salesforce here, you're seeing that I can grab the scope here and now use the activities directly related to Salesforce. Now within the Salesforce scope here, and once I've actually configured the connection to my Salesforce instance, I'm now once again referencing the Excel file where the data sits, and data here being what we just grabbed from the UiBank portal. So for example, here, I'm actually grabbing all the account information from UiBank and I'm putting it into an Excel sheet. We're referencing that data once again in the Excel sheet. And now for each of the rows that exist within the Excel sheet, we're now updating that account information on the Salesforce side as well. And then last but not least here, Salesforce is actually now directly connecting to Tableau. So Salesforce and Tableau have a connection here. So now what we're doing in real time is as I'm updating information into Salesforce, Salesforce is then sending that data to Tableau. It's running data analysis, and then we're actually grabbing that data once again in the form of a PowerPoint here today. Now this flow could change, right? I could, for example, if I wanted to, I could directly connect to Tableau and then move the data from Tableau to Salesforce. But for today's demonstration, we're just choosing this flow as it's the one we're trying to reference today. Now, one of the things I'll showcase today is also how you go through that connection on our side as well. So within integration service, this is essentially, once again, that connective tissue between UiPath and Salesforce in this case. So I would simply just add a connection here. Now, as you can see here, I've actually gone ahead and done that. And within just about 3 clicks here, once you actually just connect it and point it to the instance you have, it'll automatically create that connection, which you can then use on the actual flow side as well. So for example, when we see here, the configuration to Salesforce right here, that's because I've already created that connection on the integration service side right here. The same way here, and let me pull this out here. For some reason, it's the Zoom header here still showing up on my side, so apologies for that. But now we're actually seeing the Tableau side as well here. And this is essentially where I've actually gone ahead and created the dashboard that we're actually looking to reference today. Now, this dashboard will update in real time once that account information is updated. So you'll see this sheet here actually update. And then last but not least, you'll actually see the dashboard as well, which is what we'll actually be referencing and downloading into a PowerPoint here. So keep in mind here that once again, right, just as a recap, just to understand what we're looking at a couple things. One, connecting to a legacy application to grab data so we can actually reference that into Salesforce. Then actually moving over to Salesforce, we can actually see the account view and see all the accounts that have been updated. And then last but not least, move that information from the account view to Tableau so we can run some data analysis. And then last but not least, for reporting purposes, being able to actually generate a report, in this case, that dashboard, and then be able to pull that down into the form of a PowerPoint here. So with that, let's go ahead and run the flow. So the first thing you'll see here is you'll see the UiBank portal being uploaded here. Now keep in mind here, this portal doesn't actually have to be open right now. I had it open for the sake of the demonstration today, but one of the things you can do is actually have the bot log into the portal as well and grab the data. So whether it's grabbing data from an application that's already open or actually grabbing data from an application that needs to be open is also possible as well. So for example, for the robot, you can essentially provision credentials to the robot itself, which will then go in and actually update the information or pull information from a legacy application here. The next thing that we'll see here is this Excel sheet. We're seeing that all the information here from that Excel sheet is actually being grabbed and updated in here. So once again, right, I could push that information from a legacy application to Excel or to another database. Or for example, if you needed to update like another core application, another ERP application, that data from the legacy application can move to wherever you would like. Now, right now, what we're essentially doing is on the left-hand side here, if I go to output, you're actually seeing that these activities are being run successfully, meaning that the account information is now being actually inputted into Salesforce. So you're seeing that this bar here is getting shorter and shorter as each of the accounts that are being pulled from the legacy application, that data is now being pushed into Salesforce. Now we can see that the flow is completed here. So if we were to actually go over back to Salesforce here and hit refresh, we'll see here that here are the new timestamps here, which matches up to my time here. I'm in Central Time, so apologies if you're all in Eastern or Pacific or wherever you may be. But if I were to actually click into my checking account, for example, it's just one of the potential accounts here. You're seeing that this information here, whether it's the account name, the type, the account number, matches the exact information that we would see here on the UI Bank portal. Now, once again here, because our goal here is to essentially run data analysis in Tableau as well, this information in the account view is being fed to Tableau, and then we're running that analysis here. Now, for today's demonstration, I chose to pick a very simple table here. We're essentially comparing the accounts to the balances they actually have today. So if I were to actually go to my documents folder here, where I've essentially pointed my bot to save the PowerPoint, you're seeing here that the PowerPoint has actually been created here as well. This is how we would go ahead and actually run that financial reporting. And if I were to open up this PowerPoint today, you're seeing here that it gives you a nice little screen here with a bit of a header that tells you when the file was created. So once again, if you were creating multiple reports at any point in time, you would have a stamp as to when this report was actually created. And then last but not least here, you're seeing that table that was automatically generated in real time with the account and balance information here. So not to belabor the point, but I just want to do one more recap here just to make sure that the information is settling in. And basically here, there's a couple things going on, right? We're connecting to a legacy application that's not API friendly. So think of any application that you're working with or any source of data that you can't use an API with. We can simply use the UI to actually grab that information and pull it into whatever ERP application or secondary or tertiary system that we would like. In this case, we've chosen Salesforce. We've updated that information into the account view in Salesforce, push that data over to Tableau in real time, run the data analysis here to make sure that we have this account and balance view. And then last but not least, pull that data down into a PowerPoint format to make sure that we have it for our records here. That data is not only sitting within Salesforce, but also within the Excel sheet that we just saw. So in case we wanted to have a secondary source of information, we can have that as a possibility. I know it's a lot of information here, and I talk very quickly, so apologies for that. So in case you have any questions, please feel free to jump in right now.
Hey, thanks a lot, Anish. That was awesome. Yeah, if anybody has any questions, feel free to just drop them in the chat. Or Christina, if we want to let people unmute as well, feel free to jump in with a question.
Yeah, absolutely. Anybody is able to unmute. I mean, if you guys experience problem being able to unmute, just let us know. But the option is there. So please unmute and ask whatever you feel like asking from Anish and Mo from the presentation so far. Or you can also drop it in the chat if you are shy and don't want to unmute and ask live. Okay, we have a question from John in the chat. Do you have a direct connector between UiPath and Tableau? And he's mentioning.
So I actually see, John, if I'm reading right, you're asking about Automation Hub specifically. Let me check on that. In fact, I'll check while we're on here. I think you can set up a custom connection. We don't have anything native between between Automation Hub and Tableau, but it's a great question. So let me try to check just while we're on live here. And just while I'm doing that, if anybody else has any questions, please fire away. Let me see what I can find real quick.
Anybody else besides John with a question from the presentation so far before we follow with the next part? There was a problem in the beginning. Someone noted having a problem with a link. Wait a bit. John also said that there is an error when he tries to download the white paper in the beginning. So maybe we should check the link of the white paper.
So John, I believe the answer for your question, and I'll try to provide some more detail when we redistribute the deck tomorrow. We do have open APIs with Automation Hub, and I believe you could set up a connection between that and Tableau, but I've got to double check on that. But we can also export your automation pipelines and other data sources within Automation Hub to CSVs and then put them into Tableau that way. So that one's less elegant, but there are definitely indirect ways, and I'll try to confirm if there are direct ways as well, because again, it's a great question. With a lot of data captured within Automation Hub would make for great dashboards. So appreciate the question.
Thanks, Mo.
Okay, then I guess Mo, we will update the answer to that in the deck. Yes,
Yep,
tomorrow
absolutely,
when we wrap up the deck. And about the link to the white paper, can you try to see like what is the issue with the download?
Sure, I'll check with Lynette, but at the minimum, we'll make sure it's corrected before we republish the deck. So
Okay,
at a
okay.
minimum, if you access it tomorrow, you'll have the correct link, but we can try to fix it right now. We can check for it.
So tomorrow when we wrap up the session on the event link, and you will receive probably before it's wrapped up an email with the links. And if you don't find the content immediately on the links, just wait a few more hours because the content is going to be there by the end of the day tomorrow. We will receive a wrap-up email with a link to a recording and to the deck. Okay, any other questions from the audience?
All right, well, in that case, I will pass it back over to either you, Mo, or you, Christina.
Cool, thank you, Anish. So we don't have too much more. We've got a couple of additional use cases. Let me go ahead and reshare my screen. And just a couple of scenarios that we've set up, and let me go back in presentation mode. A couple of additional scenarios just that we have demos for, that we've set up demos for are actually beginning in Tableau. So that's where, from a retail standpoint, if I see supply running low on an inventory dashboard, anything like that, I can trigger a robot. The robot can then access an ERP like SAP, update the data source. So like Anish showed today, that could be an Excel data file, that could, or an Excel workbook, that could be a SQL database, Access database, modern or legacy, and then we can do a lot of those downstream actions. So that could be notifying by Slack or email, anything like that. And then another one that we use internally is actually setting up dashboards within Tableau, and just like Anish did with PowerPoint, exporting a PDF report, based on filtered views and distributing that, via email, things like that. So, we showed mostly beginning with a robot today, but you could also initiate a process with Tableau. And again, that could be via the extension. That could also be via the JavaScript API and embedded dashboards and things like that. So I think, Christina, that's what I had from a PowerPoint standpoint. If we want to do the quick quiz, and then if there's any additional questions, please feel free to jump in at any time, guys.
Yeah, okay. Just a minute for me to go to the Menti. And this is where we left off. So this was our last version of the leaderboard. As you can see, Donald was leading here. We have, okay. I guess you guys should still be in the quiz room. If not, I will just give again the data to enter the quiz room, but most of you should still be there. So let me know if you guys are in the quiz room, so I know to continue with the Menti. Okay, Anne is in the quiz room. John is ready. Okay. We will go on with the Menti then, with the last 2 questions, and prepare for question 3 now. And remember, answer fast to get more points. What are some formats you can export dashboards to using the activities? PDF, image, PowerPoint, .tracks, dashboards cannot be exported. Okay, everybody got it right. So this was a 100% correct answer.
And nice job, everybody.
Yeah, that's great. Let's see the leaderboard. Okay, so it seems like Donald is really there to stay. One more question, anything can change. You've seen in the beginning. So we're moving to question number 4, and be prepared to answer fast. This is the last question of the quiz. You can authenticate to the UiPath Tableau activities via Magic, Basic Auth and API token, single sign-on. Magic is an interesting option.
Yeah, a little bit of a trick question again, but yeah, everybody got it right. Great job, guys.
Yeah, great. That's absolutely great. So again, 100% correct answers. And now for the final leaderboard. Okay, it seems like Donald managed to maintain his position and he is the winner today. Please send me in a direct message, like not in public, but in a private message in Zoom. Please send me your email address, Donald, and congratulations on winning our quiz today. Now I will hand it back to Mo. And yes.
Cool. Give me one sec. Let me reshare my screen.
And just for anyone else who tried to download the white paper and the link didn't work, I see Lynette updated the link in the chat box. So if you want the link to the white paper, you can please go into the chat and pick up the new link.
And I was gonna try to pull up my Tableau server, but I think it may have been deleted. So I think that's all we had. Anish, if you want to pull up your dashboard again, if you don't mind, actually, I can pull up in the background too. Give me one sec. I did want to just share one thing, just related for on-prem users. Give me one sec. Let me log into Tableau. Sorry, just logging in. And let me reshare. Can everyone see Tableau?
Yes.
Perfect. So really minor little thing that I think is going to be useful to on-prem users, especially, is if you want to trigger processes from UiPath, there's a really simple option to embed your dashboard within an HTML page. So if you go to if you go to share within your dashboard, right there, if you grab that embed code, so the link here, you can copy the embed code. You can embed that within an HTML page. Use the Tableau JavaScript API within that web page, and then you can kick off. You can make API calls to UiPath. So you're free to use the extension if you're a cloud user, but for on-prem, you can also do that as well. I had a demo environment with that. I think I messed something up in the background. I'm gonna see if I can pull it up now. But just while we're talking. But yeah, that's just a little bit of a starting point for anybody on-prem. So for the rest of the slides we had here, we've got a couple of links. So we've got a link for the activity pack and documentation for it. So you can download that at any point within Studio or via our marketplace. And then we've got a little bit of information, Christina, if you want to walk through just our upcoming community events and a couple things to close out.
Yes, sure, I can do that. Just a minute. So let me share the screen. Okay. So this is what we have in terms of upcoming session from the tech series. So as you can see, the previous sessions, of course, you can access the content now, the recordings and the decks. Today, the Tableau session happening now, and we have waiting for us till the end of the year, December 15th, Amazon SageMaker, Workday, and AWS in public sector. And if you want to register, I also gave you the link in the beginning, but you can go and scan the QR code even now from the screen, and it will take you directly to the series page, so you can register on your own time zone and choose the sessions most important to you. And I advise you not to forget, and early registration is always welcome. So if you can go and register now, we have 3 more sessions coming up in the technology integration series. Of course, SageMaker, Workday, and AWS. Then, I was just saying to Donald that he should stay a bit because we have an event to announce. Some of you might have already heard about this event. It's a really important event for us. It's the first edition this year of the Automation Education Summit. So this is an event especially dedicated to automation education. We bring people who are training in automation, universities who have integrated automation in their curricula. It's a partnership between community and UiPath Academic Alliance. So you will have a lot of content here to learn from trainers and learners in automation, and to see how automation education can be integrated in organizations, in universities. Very, very important content in this summit, which will take place now in November, mid-month. So again, scan the QR code, go to the page, and RSVP if you want to block your calendars or have reminders for the Automation Education Summit. It will run 3 days, each day dedicated to another time zone. It's pretty short, not very long. I think it's top 3 hours, the whole event, and you will get access to the sessions and recordings afterwards. So I think this is something very important to be leveraged by any organization, and I strongly advise you to bookmark this content. And our biggest announcement in community now is that, of course, we have our MVP applications open, and they will stay open until December 10th in community. We opened them at the beginning, like last month, in mid-month, I think. Of course, for those of you who are not familiar with the UiPath MVP program, you can again scan the QR code, go to the MVP program page, see what the program is all about. Basically, this program recognizes the top experts and contributors in the automation community for us. So the MVP title is awarded once a year to our top experts in the community. It's pretty important for the organizations they take part in, where they are employed, also very important for their own careers and professional paths. It's a very good recognition on behalf of UiPath. They get access to product directly, product feedback, product roadmap. So they have a lot of channels open with UiPath, and of course they become our top contributors in community, giving back to the community. We had last year actually this year we had 3 MVP summits. They will take place again next year to connect this network of our top experts in the community. It's very interesting, and if you go to the program page, you will certainly find out more about these open applications. And if there are any questions about any of these 3 programs, the Tech Series, the Automation Education Summit, or the MVP program, please contact me at any time and I will answer your questions. think that's about all we have upcoming in the community for now. There will be a bit more next time because I know we have another thing coming up. Mo, is there anything else you would like to share?
I think that was it. Thank you so much, Anish, for joining, and thank you everybody for joining yourselves. Really appreciate it, and hope this was useful.
I think we have a question from Anne, which whom is asking whether the slides will be shared. Yes, the slides will be shared, and you will have the links from the slide. Yeah. So everything will be shared tomorrow, recording and the slides. Thank you very much, Mo. Thank you very much, Lynette and Anish, for the session today.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, everyone.